He is the man who flew too much. Steve Rothstein bought a golden ticket from American Airlines in 1987, granting him a lifetime of unlimited travel. He clocked more than 10 million miles and 10,000 flights. He used his power to fly hopeless strangers home, a friend to the lower, and a priestess to Rome to meet the Pope. He hoped plans to other cities just for a baseball game or a sandwich. Everybody, even American CEO, knew his name. Become a hero at the airline, Rothstein 61, a Manhattan investment banker, told the past I could just show up and get a seat. But in 2008, the airline accused him of fraud and snatched his bottomless boarding pass. American is reviewing its Air Pass program to find ways to terminate some of the 66 high flying contracts that are costing the company millions of dollars a year. Rothstein, then living in Chicago, bought his Air Pass for 250,000 plus a companion ticket for 150,000 more. I could go someplace and I wouldn't even have to think about it. He said, just make the reservation and go. He traveled 18 times in July 2004, alone jetting to Nova Scotia, main London, Los Angeles, and Denver. Once a business meeting in Miami was postponed for a day, so he took a junket to carrier cars. He booked flights under fake names such as Bag Rothstein. If he didn't know who his companion would be, a practice that the airline later used to accuse him of fraud. Because of the air pass, his daughter went to boarding school in Switzerland. He took his son to dozens of nationwide sporting events, including the Yankees Mets Subway Series. Some days he flew to Providence, R1 home of his alma mater, Brown University, just for a bologna and Swiss cheese melt from a place called Goffy's. A very fun Saturday would be to wake up early and fly to Detroit, rent a car, and go to Ontario, have lunch, and spend $50 or $100 buying Canadian things. Rothstein said he'd be home in time for dinner with his wife and friends, but I wouldn't say, oh, I went to Canada today. That would sound obnoxious. Still, the charmed traveler paid his fortune forward. He gave away all of his 14 million air miles. If a stranded traveler was crying, such as one woman desperately trying to return to Bronxville, New York, because her children didn't have a babysitter, he would offer her his companion seat. I felt those random acts of kindness were exactly the sorts of things that were meant to do as pupil, he said. It was on another goodwill trip that Rottinson was ultimately determined, and he had no idea it was coming. On December 13, 2008, he checked in at Chicago O'Hare International Airport with a friend, a policeman hoping to return to his native Bosnia. An American Airlines employee gave him a letter saying his pass had been terminated due to fraudulent activity. He went home in shock and didn't get out of bed for days. I feel betrayed, Dawson said, adding that he helped sell AirPods to firms and spoke at the carrier events. They took away my hobby and my life. They essentially destroyed my persona. Rothschild filed a lawsuit, and a federal judge in Illinois ruled against him for booking under phony names. The case is now being appealed. Our country is almost captive to big companies who have incredible power to do whatever they want to do, said Rothschild, who moved to New York in 2009. It's hard to fight them, but that's just what he's doing to get his beloved Air Pass back. They signed a contract, he said, and a contract. Frequent flyer Steve Rothinson travels under American Airline Airpass program since 1987, which allowed him first class flights for life, 10,000 number of flights, 10 million miles traveled, 40 million frequent flyer miles earned, 500 trips to England, 70 trips to Australia, 120 Tokyo flights, 21 million cost of the flights to American Airline. 2,50,000 what Tottenson paid for his air pass in 1987. 3 million cost of an air pass in 2004, the last year it was offered. Zero number that sold that year.